Hi Pisces, this is Lee at Fresh Astrology and Happy New Year. We are looking at 2018 and January too, to some degree. So the same influences that influence January will ripple out because of the symbolism we give January, will ripple out through the year. And we've got a lot of long-term changes, like changing of the guard with the planets moving, to different signs, and that impacts this year greatly. So a lot of big changes. Also in your chart, as in some of the other signs, not all the signs, you have this beautiful kite shape, and it's a very supportive energy. It has backbone and stability, but it also has wind at its back, wind in the sails, and it's as though you're kind of gliding into your future. And your future area, the area that symbolizes your future, is the 11th house. And this is where Capricorn lives in your chart. And Capricorn is the star of the show this year. So a lot about your future is changing. And it will require work on your part and the willingness to learn. So there is a lot of learning, a need to structure yourself and what do I want to say? Plan. This is a time when you're going to be really into planning, writing lists, spreadsheets, blueprints. You're going to be very happy with any kind of plan, and you'll be working on your own plan, your larger plan. What's your annual plan for this year? What's your 2-year plan, your 3-year plan, your 4-year, on and on. You're going to be kind of in that mode, not just this year, but into the next 2.5 years. So a lot that is changing. As of December 18th and 19th, there's some kind of big change at your job. Maybe your role changes, maybe your title changes, but there's a significant shift. There's also this idea that maybe a boss or somebody in authority over you is leaving. So I see that as well. So there could be a significant change in the company where you work if you work for someone else. Sometimes this shows somebody stepping down. Somebody who's been in authority steps down and then moves off, and they kind of launch themselves into a new sort of future that looks different. And there is a big change coming up in November for you, where a lot of luck flows into your career zone, where maybe you have a heightened, this nice title. You kind of step up in the world if you want to. So a lot of things happening near the top of your chart, and big changing of the guard moments in the work arena. So a lot's going on there, which you may well be aware of at this point. Jupiter, you start the year with Jupiter in your 9th house. So this speaks to some of you going to university, going back for a higher degree. With Jupiter, you see publishing and the law. So some people are going into law school, or law school is a theme. Some people could be teaching at law school. Some people may, if you are in the field of law, you may be leaving the corporate world or a law firm to go into teaching. So sometimes that's what we're looking at. But there's a lot of energy being poured into this area. It also, with Jupiter in the 9th house and Mars up here, it speaks to a great deal of travel. So some of you may be up for a very active year of traveling. But a whole new path for you. Your future's opening up in a very different way. And it does allow you, I think because things have changed, it does allow you to plan your way forward in a different way. Yeah, I think there's some unexpected changes this year. So you may think you know about one change, like as we enter the year, it may be like, yeah, I know about this one change. I'm prepared for that. but you may not see another one coming up. There are going to be several significant changes in your career this year, so it's and some of it's unexpected. So I see around the new year there's been one significant change already. That's already a known quantity. Then in May, in the middle of May, there's another significant change, a big shakeup and maybe a surprise where you may leave a job and start something else. Then in November, this is when Uranus is going to go back toward your second house. Right at the same time, Jupiter goes across your midheaven into your 10th. So there are several stages of development in your career that are big. They're not tiny little things. It's not like, Mercury zooming over a cusp or Venus zooming over a cusp. Those can bring change too, but these are big, eras that are ending and beginning for you. I think the hardest part about this year might be something to do with children and or romance and or creativity. I think there's, as you launch off into this new realm of work and something that's totally changing your future plans, one thing that pulls at you is the area of romance. Maybe you don't have as much time, or maybe because of the travel, you may be moving or just traveling so much that it's hard to keep a relationship going. You may feel like you're always torn between what you're doing out in the big wide world and a person, or the opportunity to date may seem slim. Likewise, if you have children, it may feel as though you're so busy with all this other stuff that it pulls at you, your role as a parent perhaps. Or maybe some of you are in the age group where you want to have a baby and all this other stuff is happening. It's very exciting. You're launching something. And this idea of how do you balance that with children? Whether it's just planning to have a child, or if you already have a child, how do you manage all that stuff? And it's not that it can't be done, but that's part of the polarity going on for you this year. Again, you can go to my website and download a longer version of this to get more to round out the story, or to work with all this major change happening in your world, which is, it seems very positive to me. It's actually a very positive year for you. I like it. I like your chart. Among all the charts, yours is one that I really like. It's not that I didn't like the other charts, but I really like what's happening here, kind of the picture it's painting. It seems like a big moment for you, several big moments for you to go after something. But I think sometimes when we're going after the bigger things in life that are kind of up in the public eye, those aren't usually our relationships. And I think it's something about your relationships pull at you, and there's a little bit of a heartstring there. So if you want to join our course starting in January, we're going to be working on understanding more about your chart and everybody's individual chart. I will teach about the slower moving planets especially and the influences they're having, some timing issues for the year, and then we'll work on some live coaching on the call. So it'll run for 6 weeks. You can sign up by purchasing the course on my website. You can feel free to message me on Facebook or email me if you have questions about the course or anything else for that matter. I also do one-on-one coaching, and I still do astrology readings. So you can, pursue those. But I'm very excited about the course, so I'm kind of advertising that because I really want people to try it. But overall, I'd say you're one of the luckier signs, and a lot is moving in your favor. I just think in terms of your relationships, that's where you're going to feel pulled in two directions, which is just, it is a part of life. We don't usually have everything perfect all at one time. So there will be a little bit of balancing. What do you want to balance here? But it is the time when you see all these planets concentrated in one area. This is the time to go for it. You may just need strategies or ways to deal with, you know, the people in your life that you want to include. There may just be strategies, some strategy that you need to have. But this is the time in your life to go after what you truly want, and it seems to be in the realm of career. Now, one caveat to that is, for those of you who are looking at a second marriage, getting married for a second time, that could be a part of what this big public change is for you. It's a big status change when Jupiter's up here in the ninth house going over your midheaven. Some of you may be getting married for a second time, and it looks lovely. I think it's a very lovely time in your life right now. If for some reason you're not feeling that, contact me. We can do some work on that, and we can look at your personal chart. But for so many of you, I do feel like it's a very good time in your life. It's a pivotal time. It's kind of a game changer kind of time in your life. So enjoy.